All right, so just to kick it off, know we connected at session one. Obviously, you've had a lot of strong showing since then. A lot of games have been played since then. Just walk us through how these first three sessions have been for you so far.
They've been really good. Just trying to keep improving, keep being efficient, and trying to find ways to win games. So just trying to use each session to be better at the next session.
And how do you feel like you guys have, or you as an individual or you as a group have grown when you look back at each of these sessions you're trying to learn from?
Just learning ways to win. Like, we had some tough losses that shouldn't have happened, but just looking back at those and knowing like, okay, we know we got to rebound at the end of the game, or just one more stop. Like, just realizing the little things we need to do to just figure out wins going forward.
Absolutely. Is that something that you're in the moment kind of realizing it? Do you go back and watch film? What's that process like for you?
Not a lot of film. It's really just like we talk about it. Like, anytime we lose, win or lose, we talk before and after the game. And like when we lose, we like, these are the reasons we lost, X, Y, Z. And we just look back at those and we like may talk as a team before the next game, like, okay, we know we lost last game because X, Y, Z. Let's kind of clean those things up this game and see where that leads.
Absolutely. And does that come naturally to you when you kind of face adversity, you just try to learn from it? Is that something you kind of had to learn and grow over time in that area?
Yeah, so to be a winner, you got to be able to face adversity and you got to be able to respond to it. So I try to lead my team in a way of showing them how to deal with adversity, because if you can't deal with adversity, you're just not going to win. It's a lot of tough teams on this circuit, and so adversity is going to strike, and when it does, you have to be ready.
Absolutely. And mentioning the tough teams, is there a matchup, whether it's individual or a team that's kind of stood out that's been especially fun for you so far?
I enjoyed the matchup with Caden Magwood and Team Loaded. High emotional game, adversity, but it was very fun. Like, that was one of the losses where I felt we didn't beat ourselves, and it was really just like, it was a good game, and I'm looking forward to seeing them again.
Absolutely. And you mentioned Caden's name specifically. What stood out about playing against him?
Just like we're the same position, and like the best players on our team, and it was a nice battle between the two. So it was real fun playing against some real good players.
And you mentioned in our last interview, the competitiveness you have, the hunger you have to win and to prove yourself. Do you kind of feel like that really kicks in and steps up in matchups like that?
Absolutely. Like, everything just goes out the window. You just like, he's really good, I'm really good, I want to beat him. And so your competitive instincts kick in. You just do whatever you got to do to try to pick up the win.
Absolutely, for sure. And you mentioned how you're really trying to, you mentioned this last time we spoke, you mentioned it today, you're trying to lead by example, especially when it comes to dealing with adversity. You mentioned last time you're trying to be more of a vocal leader too. It's something you're really focusing on.
Yeah.
Do you feel like being a leader comes naturally to you? Are there any kind of leaders, role models that you look up to in that regard?
Yeah. So, like, I have 8 siblings, and I'm the 3rd youngest. So, just having older siblings to just set examples for me, it just showed me and built me like, okay, you got to make somebody else better. And so that's kind of what I try to do. And naturally, yes, it just comes as example, but like I said, I'm trying to work on being more vocally, because you put the two together and then I'm a really great leader. So,
for sure. For sure. And then also throughout these sessions, you've been shooting the lights out. Obviously, the team's been playing really well. I guess first question on that: is this what you expected to be coming out and for long stretches shooting 50% from three and being super efficient on these really impressive shot making performances?
Yeah. I mean, the work I put in. Like obviously like the best you really get is like 43, 45. So obviously after like the first session shooting like high 50s, I mean obviously that's kind of like a shocker, but at the same time it's what you expect because the work I put in is like those I want to try to make every shot, even though obviously you can't, but that's what you practice for.
For sure. And when we spoke in session one, you mentioned how you feel your shooting kind of has like a Steph Curry effect where the guy guarding you can't help off nearly as much. Do you feel like because you've been shooting so well so far, the way you've been guarded has changed, or things have opened up more for your teammates at all?
Yeah, yes, actually, we actually have kind of like a play designed to where you have to choose if you want to help off me or not, and like that helps my teammates get off. But absolutely, because the more and more I'm getting known and getting out there, it's like everybody knows like I can shoot the lights out, and so they don't really help a lot, and so it helps my teammates who can't shoot as good as me but can drive to the basket. It helps them get to their driving lanes and be able to finish.
For sure. And is that understanding of the game, a lot of people who shoot or score well might understand, hey, I can get good looks and I can make them. Is understanding to say, hey, I have this gravity as a shooter, as a scorer that opens things up for my teammates. Is that something that just comes naturally to you, or is that something you kind of learned along the way?
A little bit of both, because like when you're just a high IQ player, you like, oh, obviously if he can shoot, I'm gonna drive his way. So now if I beat my man off the dribble, his man have to make a decision. You gonna give up this 2 or give up this 3? So a little bit of both, like just learning the game more growing up, and then absolutely just having like a high IQ. You just think like, okay, that's a good idea to try, and so it works.
For sure. And another big part of your game, and that we kind of started to dive into last time, is your defense, your commitment to kind of doing the little things and the effort you put in. Where does that come from, to take pride in that end, as, a lot of people at that age might not, right?
Just knowing what wins games. Like, you can score a ton of points, but if your opponent scores a ton of points, also it's like now you're going to overtime or it's a dogfight. But if you score a ton of points and hold them to a certain amount, now you get an easy win. So I would just say it just comes from me wanting to win. Like, knowing defense wins games, defense wins championships, I know I got to be the best defender I possibly can be.
Absolutely. And now, if you could walk away from this summer, giving one big takeaway to fans, to college coaches, what would you want about you and your game, how you carry yourself? What would you want that to be?
Just that I'm a winner. I'm going to compete and I'm going to do whatever it takes to win the game. That's all.
For sure. And now let's backtrack a little bit to your high school season. Walk us through kind of how that went for you, and we can kind of dive into it from there.
Wasn't how I wanted it to go. We faced a little adversity early in the season and had some losses we shouldn't have had, but all in all, it was a good season, and like I went out knowing that I gave everything I had when we ended up falling short of our goal.
And when you look back on this season, whether it's now or down the line, what do you think are going to be some of like your favorite memories that you're going to keep with you?
My high school season?
Yep.
Just being able to do it with my teammates. The packed out games where where we just go out and just compete. Those are really like the best memories. We fell short of making it upstate this year, so obviously that would have been a very good memory, but just unfortunate. But definitely like just the high anticipated games like against like other top players in the state, it have to be like the best memories.
And, through that adversity, through those moments with your teammates, what would you say when you look back is the biggest way you grew in this past high school season?
Just leading, like step by step, just trying to work on that vocal piece, but just leading and trying to make not just me better, but the people around me better.
Yep. And now, for the rest of this summer, anything else you're looking forward to? Anything you have your eyes set on for it?
Winning 3SSB. That's it. I just want to win 3SSB.
What do you think that takes, and what gives you the confidence that you guys can give a good run at that?
The little things, diving on the floor, boxing out, rebounding, defending. I think we have a good chance because we have a complete team. We can put the ball in the hole, and when we're locked in, we can shut somebody down. So I really think we have a chance when we're at our best, and just trying to find out how to be there and stay there.
For sure. And obviously, whether it's all of your performances so far or however you close out the summer, you've been catching a lot of eyes of colleges, right? Something you've been talking about with us is, you had a chip on your shoulder. You were underrated, underlooked for a while. First off, how does it feel to kind of have that attention start to come there more so? And then, how has your recruitment been going so far?
Firstly, it feels great. Like just knowing that all the hours you put into this game is just paying off. So that feels great. And then it's going well. A few more schools are coming into the mix, and the older schools are staying around. So it feels great just knowing that I'm wanted at various places.
Absolutely. And who are some of the schools you feel like you've been hearing from and being prioritized lately?
Definitely Iowa State and Marquette, probably the really top two who like reach out the most. And then like West Virginia a little bit too, because I had a very good relationship with Frazier. So those three probably the most.
Absolutely. What we've kind of talked a little bit about Iowa State and Marquette before.
Yeah.
What kind of stands out about that West Virginia program for you?
I'm actually learning about it more. It was kind of just a flip of a switch because Frazier just signed there, and he wanted me to be a part of the program. So learning it piece by piece, but really my strong relationship with Frazier and me trusting him is why they're considered.
And were you watching any college ball this year? Were you watching March Madness?
Definitely.
What were, I guess first off, what were some of your favorite moments from it?
Favorite moments? One of my favorite moments was watching Iowa State play Illinois, obviously because Frazier was still there, so that was just like two of my options going into the summer, so that was a good moment. Also, just I kind of enjoyed watching DJ Burns and NC State make that run. It was amazing because it's like you never can count the underdogs out. So
yeah.
Those would probably be two of my favorite moments.
And that's a great takeaway about you can't count underdogs out. Are there any other takeaways you had? Whether it's about how the tournament goes, what the college game is like from watching those games.
it just gave me confidence that I can be more useful at that level than a lot of other people my age, because when you watch it, you just see how much you got to compete and see how much you got to defend on that level, and it's not about scoring when you get to that level. And so I feel like I got a head start in those fields. So it kind of just pushes me to just keep going, because I know I do what it takes to be on the floor in college.
For sure. And have you either recently or in the next several months, are you looking to get on any visits to some of these schools that have been in the mix?
Definitely. Don't know when yet, but definitely talking about it and trying to get some visits set up, and hopefully make a decision down the line.
For sure. Couple more questions. So last time we spoke, you mentioned that you really like to play video games. Madden's one of your big games. Do you have any background in football?
Yes, I actually played football before I played basketball. I started playing football when I was 6 years old. But yeah, I love football, and I would still be playing, but basketball is my dream. So, but I was pretty good at football. But yeah, I played football from like 6 to like 11 years old, and then when COVID hit, I fully committed to basketball, and yeah.
What position were you, and do you feel like you apply anything from football to basketball?
From 6 to 8, I played running back, and then from 8 to like 11, I played receiver. Really just toughness, like just being able to be physical in the basketball way, but using the football physicality.
Yep.
But just toughness. You gotta be tough.
For sure. And last question, you of course ended up choosing basketball over football. It's very clear how passionate you are about basketball. What is it that draws you to basketball so much? What is it that you love about basketball and makes you want to be so involved in it?
For one, it's just in my family. Like my older brother, he's playing in Israel right now. So like how we spoke earlier about just if I had the role models ahead of me, like he was one of them, and it's like just seeing him do it is just like that pushed me towards it even more. And then it just like obviously football was fun because I love football, but it was just a different kind of fun to me, and so I just stuck with it.
Awesome.